Has the Quran not erred in matters of cosmology, astronomy, and the earth? Were these Quranic subjects not presented in accordance with the astronomy and celestial sciences of that era? And has the advance of knowledge today not revealed errors in such Quranic content? If not, why does the Quran speak of 7 heavens? Is a concept like the 7 heavens acceptable in modern science today? Do the verses of the Quran not show that it believed the earth to be flat? Has the Quran not spoken in its verses of the sun revolving around the earth? Does the Quran regard the sky as a ceiling above the earth? Is the setting of the sun in a muddy spring in harmony with the science of today? Is what the Quran presents concerning the stars, the sky, and the earth compatible with advanced science today? These are examples of the questions raised by critics of the Quran, seeking through them to demonstrate that this book cannot have come from God, since it contains errors that have been exposed by the advance of science. But if you recall, we explained in the previous section that viewing the Quran through a purely scientific lens is a mistaken approach. The purpose of the Quran is something else, and its method of referring to natural phenomena is a particular method that we must understand. We must become familiar with the language of the Quran in order to grasp what it intends by these verses. Yet we also said there, if even a single explicit scientific error exists in the Quran, that alone suffices as proof that this book did not come from the Creator of existence. So what do these verses mean? Answering each of these questions requires detailed elaboration. But in this section, I will try to share with you briefly the conclusions of the studies conducted in this area. Take, for example, the subject of the 7 heavens. Those who say that the Quran's mention of 7 heavens proves that it followed ancient cosmology and astronomy overlook the fact that Ptolemaic astronomy, which was accepted throughout the world before the Quran, spoke of 9 celestial spheres, not 7. Coincidentally, many of those who sought to find fault with the Quran in those eras accused it of being incompatible with science, precisely because the Quran spoke of 7 heavens while science held there to be 9. Just as many Muslim scholars today strive to demonstrate that the Quran harmonizes with scientific discoveries, some scholars of earlier centuries sought, in their own opinion, to answer this objection and show that the Quran was consistent with those same 9 spheres. They would endeavor to extract 2 additional heavens from the Quran and add them to the count, saying, "Look, the Quran also speaks of 9 heavens." We have already said that this approach, whether used to criticize the Quran or to demonstrate its miraculous nature, is fundamentally mistaken. Today, some Muslim scholars have sought, on the basis of these very verses, to show that the latest discoveries of modern science harmonize with the Quran. Regarding the 7 heavens, some have applied them to the 7 planets of the solar system, presenting fascinating and astonishing information about the characteristics of these planets, matching certain Quranic verses with certain discoveries of modern science, and declaring these remarkable correspondences to be evidence of the Quran's miraculous nature. Another group of Muslim scholars applied the 7 heavens to the 7 layers of the Earth's atmosphere, presenting equally compelling points and matching modern scientific discoveries with other Quranic verses. For example, the Quran speaks of constellations in the sky and of 7 firm, strongly built layers in the heavens that ward off evil and danger from the earth. And these scholars matched this with the layers of the atmosphere that shield the earth from harmful radiation and meteorites, becoming a source of security and stability for the earth. These are genuinely interesting points, and anyone whose awareness of the complexity and grandeur of creation deepens through scientific discovery draws closer to the goal that the Quran pursues in mentioning these examples, namely monotheism, knowledge of God, and submission before this wondrous and encompassing order. Yet there is a fundamental error that these theorists fall into. Instead of declaring this is our interpretation and it may well be correct, they attribute a specific meaning to the Quran with absolute certainty, without knowing whether it is truly the correct interpretation. So, if scientific theories change tomorrow, they would be compelled to retract their claims, and this is inconsistent with that great Quranic injunction, do not pursue that of which you have no knowledge. So although the Quran raises many wonders and secrets of creation, until we reach a definitive and certain understanding of these verses, we cannot say with confidence and certainty what the meaning of the seven heavens is, or what the meaning of the layers of the earth is. These are matters that the Quran was not intent on explaining, nor have the noble Prophet and those upon whom the Quran was revealed and who are its true interpreters, he and his household, explained their precise meaning to us. Therefore, we cannot attribute anything to the Quran with certainty. What matters is that based on the reasons we explained earlier, we are confident that this book came from God, contains amazing truths, and invites us to reflect and ponder on creation and the intricate order of the universe. The more our knowledge of this grandeur and these qualities increases, if we look at them from this angle, the closer we will come to the goal the Quran intended, that through reflecting on these phenomena, we arrive at humility, awe, and submission before God. There are, of course, several verses in the Quran related to the questions I raised at the outset, but each of these verses has been understood in various ways, and since the interpretations differ, we cannot attribute any specific scientific theory to them. If the Quran speaks of the sky being made of layers, what matters is drawing attention to the grandeur of the sky, but we do not know with certainty what these layers precisely mean. If the Quran speaks of the sun's orbit, it means that a precise order governs the sun's motion, but it does not necessarily mean that the sun revolves around the earth. It could mean that the sun is moving in some other orbit. If the Quran speaks of the sun setting into a murky spring, it could mean that Dhul Qarnayn reached a region where on the horizon this is how the scene appeared to him. Likewise, on other topics, there are many possibilities, and there are also appealing and beautiful explanations in the commentaries, or tafsir. But ultimately, what matters is that we are confident there is not even a single error in the Quran.